Sonic Frontiers made some deep changes that'll change the direction of storytelling in the franchise forever, and I'm not just talking about Roger Craig Smith's voice.
It's over, Egghead.
Writing can make or break a great story, with most recent 3D Sonic stories falling into the break category for me. The plot premises for Colors, Lost World, and Forces aren't bad, but it's hard to get invested when the dialogue in almost every cutscene gives you secondhand embarrassment.
Experience has also taught me that the best way to solve problems is to kick robot butt.
Alright, just don't line it up with the temple right there. Sega may have felt that the writing wasn't up to snuff either, and decided to bring in longtime chief writer of the Archie and IDW Sonic comics, Ian Flynn. I've been reading the IDW Sonic comics from issue 1, but love them so much, I went back and read all the Archie comics from the point that Flynn took over in issue 160 for Ken, I Want Sally Acorn to Have Sex, Penders. Flynn has a special blend of action sequence quips and slower character moments that the stories in the Sonic games have been largely starved of, as the focus is usually on the overarching plot and not the characters. I think Sonic Team came to realize that our love for the characters is what was keeping a lot of Sonic fans around through the highs and lows of the franchise, so they wanted to have Ian's help in making that shine through in Frontier's story as well. Flynn oversees the whole story writing process for IDW, but he said in an IGN interview that Sega provided the story, usable characters, and plot beats for Frontiers, with Ian only left in charge of the game's dialogue. It goes to show that Sega had the right ingredients to make a good story, but maybe they just needed a better chef. Even if that chef incorrectly thinks that Hydrocity Zone is pronounced Hydro City. I mean, he wrote the Sonic Encyclopedia, and look at this. How could he do this to us? Through Frontiers, Ian, Flynn, and Sonic Team prioritized solidifying the Sonic canon and connecting the games together instead of treating them each as one-off stories like they have in every Sonic game up to this point. It says a lot that the main points of continuity in the franchise before Frontiers were Shadow's entire character arc and unnecessarily retconning classic Sonic as Sonic from an alternate dimension in Forces. Please just keep him in 2D games, look how much happier he is! Some references are thrown in for the hell of it as extra flavoring, but many are integral conversation pieces in the game's plot. Knuckles' origin in Sonic 3 justifies his burning need to help the Cocos defend their homeland. Tails feels like a burden because of his failures in past games, so Sonic reminds him of all the good he has done. Eggman's new sidekick Sage urges him to eventually join forces with Sonic to defeat an undefeatable threat like they did to stop the Ark in Adventure 2 and Neo Metal Sonic in Sonic Heroes. They even use Frontier's story as an opportunity to explain that the Chaos Emeralds were drawn to Sonic's world by the Master Emerald. Damn, nobody cared about this big-ass rock until the ancients that founded Starfar Island showed up. The Master Emerald was just sitting around in the dirt, that's crazy. Oh, you found a giant green jewel? Well, I found Sega Superstars Tennis, so I guess we're both losers. It all makes the world of the Sonic games feel more cohesive and alive, that the characters we love are learning and growing from their experiences just like we do. I understand many fans' concerns about the writing becoming too self-referential going forward and that making it difficult for new players to enjoy the series, but I think Frontiers was necessary to bring a franchise together that has been very up and down before continuing to move forward. There's been a noticeable shift in Sonic Team's renewed prioritization of quality in the series, and part of that commitment for them has been through the unification of the series canon in both Frontier's story and the very entertaining Tales Tube YouTube series.
Here's a special new rock I just found. Look what it can do. Ugh!
Ow. I really think nervous fans should give this new direction a chance, since the references in Frontiers didn't take away from the dialogue, and it gives us more opportunities to dive into the characters of the Sonic franchise. You can't move forward without reflecting on where you've been. Some of the most memorable story moments in Sonic games for me are when they take a break from the go, go, go of the plot and slow down to let the characters shine. Sonic in Adventure 2 saying, "I'm just a guy that loves adventure," the entire scene with Chip and Sonic in Unleashed that ends with Sonic asking, "Do I need a reason to help out a friend?" and Sonic telling Marlena in Black Knight that we should live life to the fullest in the time we have are what make the characters so special to me. Yeah, I cry every time I watch that cutscene. I'm a man in touch with my feelings. You get some great lines with that classic Sonic cockiness we all love.
Be careful.
Careful? Where's the fun in that?
But Frontiers also brings a level of subtlety to the game's cutscenes we haven't seen much of during the series that I also really enjoy.
The threat we face is beyond imagination.
Hey, if there's even a 1% chance I can turn that despair of yours into hope, I won't disappoint.
It helps that not all cutscenes are required, so if you don't want to take the time to collect extra memory tokens for the extra cutscenes, You don't have to. But this is the only thing you could do to make me want to 100% a game. I made Big the Cat the richest dude in cyberspace. The game explores Amy, Knuckles, and Tails in more depth as they're faced with parallels of their own desires through the experiences of the Cocos. Amy works to reunite a Coco with their lost love so they can confess before it's too late. It seems like an obvious metaphor for her crush on Sonic, but her story in the game ends with her telling him that she wants to share the Coco love story with the world, even though it'll mean being far away from Sonic. This isn't the same Amy we used to know.
I'm sorry.
Knuckles' rival dynamic with Sonic is a welcome return in this game, while he struggles with his self-identity. He marvels at the civilization the ancients built because of his echidna heritage, but he can't help but feel like he's trapped in his duty to protect the Master Emerald. Sonic urges him to see the world and live a little, which Knuckles surprisingly agrees to do. Eventually, Tails helps an engineer Coco who is trying to make fortifications to the island while he waits for his hero to show up. Between that and the alternate version of himself that Tails encounters in cyberspace telling him that he is only a follower of Sonic, he spends a lot of time reflecting on if he can change for the better. You can feel Sonic's admiration for his longtime best friend throughout their cutscenes together, which ultimately prompts Tails to go it alone for a while once they're back home. Sonic is sad but happy for him, and he goes as far as to stop calling Tails little bro and start calling him partner.
Such a beautiful friendship. A family born of love and not genetics.
Yeah, I cried during this cutscene too, Sage. Sonic's three friends fly away from Starfall Island with a better understanding of themselves and plans for their own paths to continue growing. I wish Sonic got the same treatment, but the theme throughout the game of pushing his never give up attitude to its absolute limit was also very compelling. As far as the overall plot goes, it's not as grandiose as say Unleashed or Adventure 2, but it has big moments like the Titan battles and has a level of cohesion that makes you feel like they thought of everything. Some character dialogue goes as far as explaining why you have a mini-map on your HUD to get around the overworld, which is super unnecessary but very enjoyable. Flynn wanted to make every part of the story feel believable and integrated, even when there's elaborate platforming segments just floating in the air. Seeing Sage's transformation from soulless AI to caring daughter was as heartwarming as it was heart-wrenching, so I'm glad that Sonic Team seems to be making her a recurring member of the cast. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Definitely, I don't need it. People often call Sonic Frontiers gameplay a great building block for the series going forward, and I think the story is no different. You give the end a better final battle, and you've got a great storytelling experience from start to finish that Ian, Flynn, and Sonic Team can continue to build on in future games. We'll see if the final Horizons DLC gives us the ending we actually wanted. There's only one thing that really chills my dogs about the Sonic Frontiers storytelling. Why the fuck did they make those beautiful CGI cutscenes for a game trailer and not include them in the actual game?